Good morning, dear children.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Good morning, ma'am.
How are you? How was your holidays, Christmas?
Super.
Super. Okay, good. Which lesson we were discussing?
Human resource.
Human resources. I think we have explained till factors affecting distribution of population, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Today we will be discussing population change. All of you switch on video. Pooja, Tamanna, Ken, Isha, Nadeem, Anishwara, Fadil, Amaljit. Then, what does population change? What does population change? Do you have any idea? Population change, what it means?
Sometimes people
Yes?
increase in number of
Increase in number of people. Yes. What is
difference in death rate and birth rate.
difference in death rate and birth rate? Okay. Let us see what is the definition of population change. Population change means it's change in the number of people within or during a specific time. Within 5 years, within 10 years, there will be some changes in the number of people. And this is called population change. Then what is population change? How can we define population change? Population change as a change in the number of people during a specific time. What is population change? Change in the number of people during a specific time. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
And what is population change?
change
It
in the
refers
number
to the
of
change in the number of
number of
people.
people
Yes,
Yes,
during
change in the number of people during a specific time. Because time is there within a time limit. Maybe 10 years or within 10 years, there will be some changes, right? Within 5 years, there will be some changes in the population. This is called population change. Clear? So, as we all know, world population has not stable. World population has not stable. It is increasing. As we all know, population is increasing day by day, right? That's why world population has not stable or not remain static or stable. It's increasing. When we say not stable, world population not stable, it is actually because or due to change in the number of birth and death. That's why world population has not stable. It is due to change in the number of birth and death. Number of birth and death. Clear what is the cause for change of population or population change? Due to change in the number of death and birth or birth and death. So from this we can understand world population has not stable or static. It is always changing. We can say it is always increasing. It is actually due to the change in the number of birth and death. Clear? What does population change? Meaning is clear? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
What does population change? How can we define population change? Fadil, what is population change?
Ma'am, the difference in the death rate of
Change in the number of
birth rate,
change in the number of people. Can define it in a simple terms. Population change as a change in the number of people during a specific time. Change in the number of people during a specific time. Right? Because population is increasing. Clear? So there will be change in the population or number of people. So in very simple terms, we can define population change. Population change is a change in the number of people during a specific time. During a specific time. Right? This is mainly due to change in the number of birth and death. One reason, change in the number of birth and death. Birth rate and death rate, it's not same always. Sometimes birth rate is very high, death rate very low. Sometimes death rate high, birth rate low. All these affect population change or the number of people. Let us see in detail later how it affect population. Okay. Then I hope population change, the term is clear. Population change is a change in the number of people during a specific time. It is mainly due to change in the number of birth and death. Okay. The next important concept you have to understand this lesson is population explosion. What is population explosion? What is the meaning of population explosion? Explosion. What is the meaning of it? Blasting. Here what it means, population explosion.
Sudden increase of.
Yeah, sudden increase, great increase in human number or rapid increase in the number of people. It's called human population. Clear? What is human population? Sudden increase or great increase in human number or rapid increase in the number of people. It's called population explosion. Okay. When you look at the history of human, we can see changes in the number of people or population increase. Okay. Then when we look at the history of human or population until 1800, in very early period, right? Ancient period or early period, 1800, population grew very slowly and very steady. It was steadily, right? It was population growth was there, but it grew very slowly. Number of babies were born, but they died earlier. What would be the reason for earlier death of infants or newborn babies?
Food availability.
Sufficient food was not available, right? I think you might have heard about early society, right? Or early period. Sufficient food was not available, though hospitals were there, but no proper health facilities or no proper medicines were developed to reduce infant mortality rate. Mortality means in population, we use the word mortality, it means death rate. So infant mortality or newborn babies, they died very early. Number of babies were born, but they died early. Why they died early?
Insufficient food and
Insufficient food and because of no proper health facilities. Though hospitals were there, but medicines or vaccines were not developed to reduce infant mortality rate. Clear? In 1800, this was the situation in 1800. Then farmers, they could not produce sufficient food to meet the requirement of all people, to satisfy the needs of all people. Because of all these reasons, population growth was very low in 1800. Clear? Many number of babies were born, but they died. So number of live birth was very low. Because of this reason, population growth was very slow in 1800. Clear? In 1800. Then in 1820, the year 1820, world population reached to 1 billion. What it shows?
started to increase.
Yeah, population started increasing, right? Increase in the population rate. Then 150 years later, that will be, that was in 1970, world population reached to 3 billion. What it shows? Rapid increase, right? Great increase in human number in 1970. In 1970 means after independence, right? Our government has taken many steps to improve agriculture. So there was, I think, government could control the problem of food shortage of food. You have learned about green revolution, right? This helped to reduce shortage of food. Then government, then medical facilities, health facilities. All these help to improve the birth rate and reduce death rate. Birth rate was high, death rate was very less, very low. Then this increase from 1 billion to 3 billion. This is often called population explosion, rapid increase in the population growth. In 1800, population grew very slowly, very steadily, very slowly. In 1820, population reached 1 billion. In 1970, world population reached to 3 billion. So this change is called population explosion. Rapid increase in the number of people, great increase in human number is called population explosion. Then in 1999, our world population reached to 6 billion. That means population doubled. In 1970, it was 3 billion. 1999, world population reached to 6 billion means world population doubled. Okay, this is the history of population change. Then what is the current world population? 7.5 billion. So current world population 7.5 billion. When we talk about India, 135 crores or 1.38 billion. It's a population. Then you know China is the world's largest or highest populated country, right? And second position,
India.
India. Then soon India will become, or India will occupy the first position, right?
Yes.
Okay. Then what are the main reasons for population growth? So I told you population explosion. We can say it's not a population growth. A word suitable for this is population explosion. What are the main reason for population explosion?
Better
Food is
facilities.
available.
Better facilities. Facilities means
Health facilities.
health facilities. You know, many hospitals are there, right, which provide better health facilities.
Food availability.
Availability of food. We are having sufficient food, right?
Yes.
All people having sufficient food. Then let us see what are the reason for rapid increase in the population or population explosion. Yes. See, these are the reason for population explosion. Note down the point: better food supplies, better medical facilities, increase in life expectancy. What is the meaning of life expectancy? What is life expectancy?
Age.
Age or number of years
Average age.
a person can expect to live, right? What is life expectancy? Number of years that a person can expect to live. It's called life expectancy. Number of years a person can expect to live. Okay, before it was 70, now it is 90, right? Because life expectancy increased. Number of years a person can expect to live has increased because of medical facilities, hospitals, food facility, food supply, then technological advancement. Super specialty hospitals with good technology, right? All these increase population growth. We can call population explosion. Reason for population explosion. Clear? Term population explosion and changes. Yes, Isha.
Ma'am, what is technological advancement?
What is technological advancement? You know, technology advance. When we take the case of hospitals, they are using modern technology, right, to diagnose all the diseases within hours. Doctors can diagnose the diseases, right? It is all because of technological advancement. Then treatments. Treatments for all diseases are available, right? Because of technological advancement. For example, we can say now corona, right? Why do we have online classes? Because of this pandemic condition, corona, right? Then now new vaccine. Many countries developed vaccines for corona. So technological advancement, right? So because of all these reasons, population increase. We can control death rates. It's the main reason, right? With all these facilities, we can control death rate. It's the main reason for population explosion. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
In early period, death rate was high. Why? No proper health facilities, no medical facilities. Food means sufficient food was not available, right? Because of this reason, death rate was very high. Number of babies were born, but death rate was high. That's why population grew slowly in early period. But modern period with all these facilities, we can control the death rate. We can control death rate. Mainly because of medical facility, food, right? These are the two important reason or two important factor. We can control death rate. The number of people dying is very less. It helped to increase population. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then what is population explosion? Rapid increase in number of people. A great increase in human number is called population explosion, right? Let us see population explosion in different years. In 1800, it grew very slowly, steadily and slowly, right? Because number of babies were born, but they died early because lack of sufficient food and lack of proper medical facilities. And then in 1820, what happened? World population reached 1 billion. This shows increase in the number of people. Then 150 years later, in 1970, world population reached 3 billion, from 1 billion to 3 billion. This is often called population explosion, rapid increase from 1 billion to 3 billion, right?
Yes.
Then in 1999, world population reached to 6 billion. That means world population doubled from 3 billion to 6 billion. Then what are the reasons for population explosion? Better food supply, better medical facilities, increase in life expectancy, technological advancement, etc. These are the main reason for population explosion. Clear?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And as I told you in the beginning, population change is mainly due to change in the number of birth and death. Okay. Then let us see what are the reasons for population change. What are the reasons for population change? There are two important reasons for population change. One is change in the number of birth and death. One reason. Okay. Second one is migration. These are the two important reasons for population change. What is the first reason?
Change in the number, death rate, and birth rate.
Yeah, change in the number of birth and death.
Death.
Second reason is migration.
Migration.
Okay. Let us see what are said. Okay. First one, change the number of birth and death. How we measure birth or birth rate? We measure birth by using birth rate. How we calculate birth rate? Number of live birth by 1000 people. It's called birth rate. Okay, how we calculate birth rate? Number of live birth. Why we use the word live birth there? L-I-V-E, live birth. Because I told you many newborn babies are, or many babies are born, but some babies die, right? Or they die early. That's why we use the word number of live birth. When we calculate birth rate, we take live birth. So number of live birth by 1000 people. Per 1000 people, how many newborn babies are there? Number of live birth per 1000 people. Okay.
And by 1,000 people.
Yeah, it's a measurement. For per 1000 people, how many babies are there? For easy calculation. Number of live birth per 1000 people or by 1000 people. Then how we calculate death rate? How we measure death? We
Death
measure
rate.
death by using death rate. Okay, a number of death per 1000 people or number of death by 1000 people. This way we calculate birth rate and death rate. How we calculate birth rate? How we measure birth rate or how we measure birth? By using birth rate. How we measure birth rate? How we calculate birth rate?
Number of live birth.
Number of live birth by 1000.
1,000 people.
Okay. How we calculate death rate?
Number of death by thousands people.
By number of death by 1000 people.
1,000 people.
Okay. Difference between this birth rate and death rate is called natural growth rate. Difference between birth rate and death rate is called natural growth rate. And what is natural growth rate? Difference between birth rate and death rate of a country is called natural growth rate. Not down the point. I hope you understood how we calculate birth rate and death rate, right? We calculate birth rate. How we calculate birth rate? Number of live birth by 1000 people.
1,000 people.
How we measure death rate?
Number of death by 1,000 people.
Yeah, number of death by 1000 people. So difference between, then when we calculate like this, we will get two numbers, right? The difference between these two is called natural growth rate. Natural growth rate. So natural, birth rate and death rate is a natural cause of population change, right? Both are birth and death. It's a natural cause of population change. So this natural growth rate is one of the reasons for population change or population increase. Natural growth rate. Why we use the word natural growth rate? Because birth and death both are natural course. That's why we use the word natural growth rate. Difference between birth and death rate of a country is called natural growth rate. Did you all understand how we calculate birth rate and death rate?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, birth rate, number of live birth by 1,000 people.
1,000 people.
Death rate, number of death by 1,000 people.
1,000.
Then we will get a number. The difference between these two numbers is called natural growth rate of a country. This is one of the reason or one of the cause of population increase or population change. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Then second reason, what is the second reason for population change? Migration.
Migration.
What is migration? What is migration?
Moving from a place.
Yeah, moving from one place to another, or movement of people from one place to another, right? Okay, when people move from one place to another, the place that the people move to, there the population will increase, right?
Mm.
For example, people move from one place to another, or people may move within a country or between a country, right? Within a country or between country. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. People move within a country or between country. Okay. Then, when we learn migration, here you have to understand two important terms. It's immigrants and immigrants. Immigration or immigration. Are you familiar with the word immigration and immigration? Two words.
No, ma'am.
Immigration in airport, when you go to if you leave India and if you travel abroad, or if you are gone to other country or any other place, a flight, okay, if you are using aeroplane or you are traveling in flight, in airport there is immigration department. Suppose if we travel from Kochi airport, there is an immigration department, right? And immigration department also. Immigration and immigration. But I'll make it clear what is immigration and immigration. First word is immigration or immigrant. Okay. Immigrant means people who leave a country. Immigrant, right? Immigration or immigrant means immigrants are people who leave a country. Then immigrants. Second word, immigrants. Now down those 2 points. First one, immigrants, and second word, immigrants. Immigrants are people who leave a country. Immigrants are people who arrive in a country. This is one of the factors, migration, right? Moving from one place to another, it's a migration. So this is one of the factor or one of the reason, cause for population change. So look at this picture. It will be very clear. This is immigrant. What is spelling of immigrant? E-M-I-G-R-A-N-T. Immigrant means departure, right? When you are leaving India and going abroad, right? You are an immigrant. Clear? When you are leaving India and going to UK, you are an immigrant because you are leaving India. A person leave a country. It's called immigrant. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Immigrant. Think this departure, you might have seen in the airport, this departure and arrival, right? Okay. Departure means here from a person leave the country. If you are leaving India and going to UK, Here you are an immigrant. Then immigrant, arrival, people, a person who arrive in a country. Suppose if you are leaving India and going abroad. I told you if you are leaving India and going to UK. When you reach in that airport in that country, respective country, and that country UK, right? In that airport, there you will be an immigrant. Clear? Because you arrived in that country. You arrived there. Is it clear? What is immigrant and immigrant?
Yes, ma'am.
If you are leaving a country, a person leave a country, he is an immigrant. A person arrive in a country, there he is an immigrant. When you leave India and going to UK, when you arrive in that airport, in UK airport, there you will be an immigrant. Immigrant, I. Clear? Okay. If you are leaving India, in our airport from, suppose if you are traveling from Cochin airport, there you are going to UK, there you are an immigrant. Okay. Then you reach in UK airport, there you will be an immigrant. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Confusing?
Yes, ma'am.
Confusing. Okay. Then I'll give you an easy way to remember. See, departure and arrival, is it clear? Immigrant means you are leaving the country. Immigrant arriving. See, that's why I have given this E. Departure, leaving. It's first letter I. And arrival, fourth letter is I. And this way you can remember. See, slave, what is the meaning of immigrant and immigrant? So immigrant means a person who leave a country. Immigrant, a person who arrive in a country. Okay. So migration is one of the important factor or cause for population change. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
You know, we used to, people visit or go to developed countries. Why? You know, your cousins, your parents are working abroad, right? Why they are working abroad, or why people like to move to developed countries?
Ma'am, more job and salary will
Yeah,
be.
because of job opportunities. Then, better standard of living. Some people like good or better standard of living, so prefer better, also prefer better standard of living. They move to developed countries. Then, for educational purpose, some people move to developed countries, right? For example, UK, Australia, all these countries, many people are there from, many people go to those countries, all developed countries, UK, US, Australia, for better job opportunities, for better standard of living, for good education. Clear? So all these countries have gained population because of immigration, in-migration or immigration. People arrive in their country from other countries. Immigration. Then some developing countries like Sudan and other developing countries, there you can see loss in population. Why loss in population in developing countries?
Many people will move to the developed countries.
Yeah, many people move to developed countries for better job. So developing countries, all developing countries experience loss in population, number of people, right? But developed countries gain population. Population is increasing in developed countries because people are moving to developed countries for better job, for better standard of living, good education, quality education. And so migration is one of the important factor for population change. Okay, this is an example of international migration. Migration can be of two types, international and domestic migration. International migration means people move from one country to another. Then what is domestic migration?
Within the country, move to
Yeah,
places.
within the country, people move from one state to another or from village to city. This is also happening, right? People move from, for example, from Kerala, people move to other state, Bangalore, Mumbai, Delhi, for education, for better standard of living, for job. From village to city, all cities are crowded. Why?
Because they're developing.
Yeah,
They
develop or
developed.
all facilities are available in cities, right? Education, health facilities, job opportunities. So people from village migrate or move to town or city. Clear? This is a movement. This is a migration. It's an example of domestic migration. Domestic and international migration both affect population change. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
What is migration? Okay, migration is an important factor. Then, what are the reasons for migration? Better employment opportunities, better education facilities, better health facilities, increase in standard of living. These are the reasons for migration. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Today we discussed about population change, right? First we discussed what is population change. What is population change? Change in the number of people during a specific time. It's called population change, right? The next, second thing we learned a new term. What is population explosion? Population explosion means a rapid increase in
increase in
number
the
of
number of
people, a
people.
great increase in human number. It's called population explosion. And we discuss a population explosion or change in population in different years, right? In 1800, 1820, 1970, 1999. We discuss population increase in all these years, right? A change in the population. Then next we discuss what are the two important reasons for population change. One is change in the number of birth and
Birth and birth rate and death rate.
yes. Second one is migration.
Migration.
These are the two important reasons for population change. Then first reason, change in number of birth and death. Then there we discuss how we calculate birth rate and how we calculate death rate. Then what is natural growth rate? Because birth rate and death rate is a natural cause of population change. Migration is not natural cause. We move it because of many reasons, right? We move from one place to another because of many reasons. Clear? Then second reason is migration. There you have to learn two terms, immigrant and immigrant. Immigrant in person who leave
People who leave a country.
Immigrant, a person who arrive in a
country.
In a country.
Immigration and or immigrant and immigrant. So these are two important reasons for population change. Read the textbook, okay? Because okay, dear children, I'll send you notes by evening. Today by evening, I'll send you notes. Okay. Thank you. See you in the next class.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.